It's Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, and here's what's happening. We have the latest on the local effort to contain COVID-19. Plus, Chautauqua County Executive joins us live to talk about a new map that's tracking cases in our community.
And the sun is out in full force across the entire region this afternoon, and that will continue through the day and especially through the week. I'll have the full forecast coming up as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Health officials in Chautauqua County say there were no new positive tests of COVID-19 reported yesterday. Officials released a new online mapping tool to help display data about positive cases. The tool, as you see on your screen, divides the county into the 4 fire battalions and will be updated regularly. Now, of the 10 confirmed positive cases, 2 people have recovered completely and were released from mandatory quarantine. 1 person has died and 7 others are continuing to recover under mandatory quarantine. Now, the number of cases of the virus in Cattaraugus County increased to 7 yesterday. Officials there say a woman in the southeast part of the county with no significant travel history was tested for COVID-19 on Monday after being in close contact with another confirmed case. Coming up, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendel will join us live to talk more about the new tracking map that was released yesterday. Well, more than 900 new deaths from the virus were reported nationwide today, the most reported for a single day. About 90% of Americans are now facing some sort of stay-at-home order. Nadia Romero has the latest for us from our Washington bureau.
Healthcare workers under strain in the hardest hit states like New York.
Waking up in the morning and walking into the hospital can feel like walking into the fire.
To limit the spread, more than 30 states now under stay-at-home or shelter-in-place orders. Florida's new order won't go into effect until Friday, while Tennessee's governor says he believes closing non-essential businesses will be enough to keep people home, causing California Governor Gavin Newsom to make this impassioned plea.
What are you waiting for? What more evidence do you need? If you think it's not going to happen to you, there are many proof points all across this country, for that matter, around the rest of the world.
President Trump said Wednesday a national stay-at-home order isn't likely right now.
There are some states that are different. There are some states that don't have much of a problem. You have to look at states. You have to give a little bit of flexibility.
The administration is optimistic the nation could be back to business by early June. Dr. Anthony Fauci warns social distancing guidelines can't be relaxed until the virus is more contained.
The one thing we hopefully would have in place, and I believe we will have in place, is a much more robust system to be able to identify someone who's infected, isolate them, and then do contact tracing. The ultimate solution to a virus that might keep coming back would be a vaccine.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
All right, Nadia, thank you. Our neighbors to the south have issued a statewide stay-at-home order. The order, announced by Governor Tom Wolf in Pennsylvania, is like New York's Pause initiative, where residents are directed to stay home as much as possible. It took effect at 8 p.m. last night and is slated to last until April 30th. State officials say individuals may leave their residence only to perform essential activities and travel, like grocery shopping. Residents are allowed to engage in outdoor activities such as walking, hiking, or running, as long as they maintain a good social distance. Well, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says his own family is learning the hard way on how contagious the coronavirus is. The governor spoke a day after his brother, CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, announced that he tested positive for COVID-19.
Anyone can get it. No one can be protected from it. I couldn't protect my own brother. With all he knows and as smart as he is, he couldn't protect himself. So anyone can get it, and everyone has to be protected.
Chris Cuomo says he is now quarantined in his basement, but is feeling fine and still anchoring his show, Cuomo Primetime, from his home. Cuomo was most recently at CNN's office in Houston Yards neighborhood of New York City last Friday. This is the 3rd case of the virus involving those offices there. The vast majority of CNN employees have been working from home for several weeks, with anchors broadcasting from smaller studios and home offices. Well, health officials continue to urge us to wash our hands, and years of studies show that men tend to wash their hands less than women. Daryl Forgis with this sanitary situation. Hey, Daryl.
Washing your hands. It's key in fighting coronavirus, given that your hands are a big transmitter of germs. Overall, washing your hands not only helps fight COVID-19, it's just good hygiene. But did you know, years of studies show that women wash their hands more often than men? A Michigan State University study from 2013 found 15% of men didn't wash their hands, compared to 7% of women. Of those that did wash their hands, 50% of men used soap, compared to nearly 78% of women. A 2016 study by the Los Alamos National Laboratory shows that generally, women are 50% more likely than men to practice or increase proper hand washing, mask wearing, and surface cleaning during an epidemic or the flu. Now, why is there a sanitary gender gap? One expert speculates it's likely due to socially programming behavior, saying women may be more focused on childcare, while some men believe they're too macho or invincible when it comes to contracting germs. Bottom line, coronavirus shows us no matter who you are, male or female, it's important to take all of the sanitary measures necessary to keep yourself and your family safe. I'm Daryl Forgis reporting.
All right, Daryl, very interesting statistics there. Thank you very much. It seems pretty simple. Just wash your hands, folks. Well, back here at home, a teacher in the city of Jamestown has started a small but heartfelt movement to thank healthcare workers through handwritten letters. Take a look. Jamestown Success Academy teacher Michael Tuccio, along with Purcell Middle School teacher Annika Putney, and students in the district are writing notes of appreciation to heroes both locally and nationally. Tuccio and Putney's classes have heard back from some of them who they've sent letters to, including an EMT at Monroe Ambulance who says her coworkers were so thankful for seeing the beautiful cards and words. Absolutely, and it seems like a lost art there too, written notes. Certainly this time in our society it seems like something that could come in handy. Thank you all for joining us here today for WNY News Now as we continue to put facts over fear in our mission to educate you about the novel coronavirus. Hello to Carl, hopefully you're doing well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to David. Good afternoon to Scott as well. Butch, a beautiful day out there, and we thank you for joining us. Hello to Joseph. Hopefully everyone is having a good day. Let's now get a check of, our weather forecast in Dakota this morning. Looks were kind of deceiving out there because it was super sunny. I was ready to run outside, and then I realized it's still jacket weather.
Yeah, Jay was about ready to run outside in his flip-flops and his Bermuda shorts with his metal detector. Anyway, talking about that last story, Tooch is an amazing guy. Tuccio was my class advisor at JHS, and Tooch is amazing. Tooch and Robert, the dynamic duo of JHS. Satellite and radar composite shows you those clouds that we have across the area, mainly across the eastern southern tier, the western southern tier, and northwestern Pennsylvania, pretty much in full sunshine, and that'll continue through the day. Here it is on the DoubleTree Hotel Sky Vision camera. We've seen the camera bouncing a little bit because it is a little bit breezy out there. We're at 44 right now at the Jamestown Airport north of the city. We have a north wind of 17. Look at that wind gust of 23. So the winds are up a little bit today. So it will be a little bit breezy, and the wind chill when you combine it together is down to 36 degrees. So it's feeling a little bit chillier, obviously, with the wind. 44 was the high yesterday. That was the best we were able to do because of that northerly wind kept us held down a little bit. The average high is now up to 51, and 81 and 12 below zero are the records that are set on this date here back in the record books at the airport. 42 to 48 through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny. It stays cool through the afternoon, bit of a breeze, otherwise not bad. Look at that wind, northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. So when you step out, there will be a bit of a breeze. More clouds tomorrow. Sunshine returns for the first half of the weekend. Then we may get into a few scattered showers the second half, but spring-like temperatures on the way. We'll talk about it in just a few. Jay?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up next, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendel joins us live to talk more about this new map that they released yesterday to track local cases of COVID-19. Stay with us as the news at noon continues next.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
This is Christine Schuyler, Chautauqua County Public Health Director, with a very important message. We need you to make every effort to protect yourselves and our healthcare workers. If you absolutely don't need to go out, don't. If you have a mild cold or flu-like symptoms, with or without a fever, stay home. If your symptoms are severe, call your healthcare provider. Do not go to the emergency room or urgent care. Do not call 911 or go to the ER unless you are experiencing a life-threatening emergency. The best ways you can help prevent the spread of COVID-19 are to wash your hands often with soap and water, cover your cough, avoid close contact with others. Please stay home.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. As we have reported, the county has rolled out a new tool to help track the local COVID-19 pandemic in our area. Joining us live is Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendel to talk more about the new data tool. Executive Wendel, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So what can you tell us about this new online map, and how does it work?
Well, the map is quite similar to one they're using in Erie County. When we discussed 2 days ago in our town hall meeting on Facebook, we did explain to everybody why we've switched the delivery method and the information we are giving out. The 8 counties of Western New York Public Health Alliance have all agreed to limit the location as far as towns of the residents. We live in a small community, and that recommendation came from NISAC. So we're following that to prevent that. We're looking for the safety of our residents too. There have been some threats made to small communities, so we want to make sure that our residents are safe. But the best part about this is you can go to chqgov.com, and then in the lower right corner, you'll see a red COVID-19 box. You click on that once, you'll then see another map of the county and our 4 battalions. 3 of them are red. Each of those battalions have had 1 confirmed case. 1 is not shaded. That has not seen a confirmed case yet. Click on that map, and then you'll get a more detailed map, quite similar to one that's used in Erie County. We've already used our 4 battalions. Most of our first responders, it's helping them too to know where the cases are inside of their firefighting battalions. They will be the first ones on the front line to respond to calls, so it's good for them to know as well. But also, it just gives our residents a general area of where those positive COVID cases are. If you click on the battalion that's shaded in the upper left-hand corner, it will give you the number of active cases, any cases that have recovered, and unfortunately, in the 1st battalion, we do have 1 fatality.
How did the idea come about? Who constructed this database and map?
The map, I believe, was constructed in Erie County, but Christine Schuyler in the Public Health Office did come up with our version of that map and how it was interactive. I know Bill Boria, one of our county employees, was very instrumental in putting the map up and drawing the boundaries through our GIS system as to each of the 4 battalions. Many other counties have used a system where they're dividing their county into quadrants. We felt after sitting down our COVID-19 team that we meet every morning, and John Griffith, our emergency services director, said, hey, let's look. We already have this done. Our county's divided into 4 battalions and almost intersecting the county in a manner that is very well distributed. So we thought that was a great idea. We took it and ran. And yesterday went online, and it's very, very simple. I demonstrated on my afternoon video that really it was simple and easy to access. And we hope that the residents use it and get the information they're looking for.
Now, what do officials hope to gain by having this data available not only to health professionals, but also the general public as well?
Well, I think most people want to be aware and concerned if there are cases in the community. If you look into 3rd Battalion, for example, which is where I live, there are 4 cases that have been positive, and 2 of them have recovered. So it's good to know that we are on the mend, and people do recover quite well from the COVID-19 virus. And people just want to be in the know. We understand. We've said it before that COVID-19 is here. 4 of our cases that we have already expressed, or actually, have rolled out that they're tested positive. 4 of them have not had any travel history outside of Chautauqua County. So it leads back to the statement that coronavirus is here in Chautauqua County, and it is being spread throughout our community. So we urge everybody to be safe, be very vigilant. If you are sick, we need you to stay home. It's not a matter of how tough you are, but it's really a matter of how safe you are and how willing you are to help your neighbors.
And I want to ask you about yesterday's update, where county officials reported now of the 10 with COVID-19, 2 have completely recovered, as you mentioned. Do you know what their road to recovery looked like?
That I don't. Once those have come out, the county health department is in contact with the individuals, so they've expressed to us that they're on the road to recovery. One of the things that has eluded information is 98.2% of the cases are recovering. So that's a very positive number when we look. They will say, well, that's 1.8% that have a longer or more serious effect, but 98.2% recovery rate. So that's really good, and that's one of the statistics that needs to get out there. Our young people, anyone who comes down with this, one of our gentlemen that's recovered was in his 60s. So again, they are recovering well and following protocol, getting to your doctor when you feel that those symptoms are there, reaching out to your primary medical care doctor and getting in the system, I guess you would call it, and in the know for your physician, letting them treat you and give you the proper guidelines to move forward is really, really important.
And as for the other patients, what's the process like to monitor their situation? And if their condition begins to worsen, how would they get additional medical care?
Well, if they're at home and if they're on the quarantine, their simple directive is to call 911 if the situation gets worse. Obviously, informing your primary medical care doctor, your PMD, and giving them an update as to what your symptoms are and that they have worsened. Then you call 911. We have had for several weeks now, part of our dispatch, what they call PIDS, PIDS, possible infectious disease. So as the information is rolled out to our first responders, that is part of the dispatch information given, so that way our first responders are able to make sure they are properly protected as they go into those residents. Or if it's somebody who has not already tested positive, the symptoms through a quick triage on the phone is going to give the information to our first responders. It's a great system that's been working quite well. This goes out to, within the first week, there was a case I know of a fire department that responded. That designation of a PIDS call came out. The department took all the precautions, and it was very effective in mitigating any contact, and the result came out very well.
Now, the individual who passed away this week was an 80-year-old man who was being treated at an Erie hospital. Was his case considered to be severe, and did his age play a role in that? I know we've been talking about how the elderly generally are more susceptible.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of detail for that. I do know that he was requested to go to Erie, which is very common. They do have intensivists. It has nothing to do nor a reflection on the capabilities of our 3 hospitals here in Chautauqua County. We work extensively with them. I know Amelia Lindquist Harley, the director of nursing at UPMC Chautauqua. Julie Morton, I've had a long friendship with her, working relationship. The ER director up in Brooks, and we're in constant contact with Westfield. So they are all very capable. In that situation, his doctor felt that he needed a higher level of care, and it's nothing different than we would do with somebody with, let's say, a heart attack or a stroke, that a higher level of care is needed, and they're sent to a different hospital. So that's what his doctor recommended. He was sent to Hammett Medical Center, and he received a higher level of care. I can't tell you exactly, but again, being 80 years old, that is one of the signs and one of the groups that is most vulnerable to this. So again, I don't have great detail, but that's all I can say.
Right, but it just goes to show you the fact that those who are, as you've mentioned in previous reports, of the greatest generation that need to take those steps, and it's really not even them, but rather the younger people in the community who need to say, okay, I got to protect grandma and grandpa. I need to abide by this social distancing. And I know for me, I can say I haven't visited my grandmother in 2 weeks because she is in her home and contained.
Exactly. We're doing it myself. My mom's in her 70s, and I haven't been able to visit her. We talk regularly. Myself and my wife makes contact with her every day, making sure she's okay. But again, that's, we do. We have to look out. And I've said it before, we need to take care of our heroes. Our heroes took care of us throughout our lives. We need to do it to them. It's our obligation, I believe, as the next generation to make sure that they are taken care of. And like you said, Justin, it's, as we're younger people, we seem to be, invincible, that nothing is going to harm us and it's not going to affect me the way it affects other people. Well, you got to realize that you can spread it to somebody else. And those are the people that aren't able to defend it as well as you are. So keep that in mind. And, one of the things I do want to urge is everyone coming back to this area, be it residents who have lived in the South for this winter, as most of us do, snowbirds, anybody returning to Chautauqua County to call it home, we need to make sure that you quarantine yourself, stay in isolation. It's a precautionary measure. If you need any groceries, any supplies, please contact a relative or a neighbor, ask if they can do that for you. But people returning home, it's really important that they help all of us in quarantining themselves, so that way they don't come down or they don't get sick with the coronavirus.
And I wanted to get your take while we have you about the new COVID testing site that was set up at Jones Memorial here in Jamestown. Officials at the hospital saying this is not a place where residents should go to get tested as an outpatient, but rather a referral from their doctor. As the leader of the county, seeing a site like this pop up, what's your reaction and take on it?
Well, they were in constant contact with us, the healthcare providers we meet with on a regular basis. They did inform us that they had the capability to increase the testing. And again, there's an algorithm that we have. There's a process. Again, a lot of recommendation from the New York State Department of Health as to who gets tested, how they get tested, et cetera. There is a referral process through local primary health physicians. And, we are going to abide by that at this time to make sure that the supplies we do have are utilized effectively. Again, it's a great tool. We encourage, the primary physicians that if their patients meet that algorithm to get them to the testing site. It goes to show we do have a great working relationship with our hospitals and healthcare providers here in the Chautauqua County area.
Now, speaking of great relationships, here in the county, we've seen several businesses now, all the way from Jamestown to Brockton, step up to offer their services with filling the need for PPE, that personalized protective gear. If a company's out there now who wants to help, what should they do?
Reach out to the CCIDA, Mark Geis, Rich Dixon, and their staff. We do have a list. We're compiling a list. It's getting bigger every day of local businesses that are willing to step up and answer the call, as I put it, from Governor Cuomo and his request for businesses to step up and make products, personal protective equipment, and the like that'll help combat this virus. The situation that arose with Jamestown Plastic, I believe, being in the EMS service now for 26 years, the True Hero face shield is really revolutionary. If you watch on television, as many people have, you'll see those pieces of plastic that hang over the face, and it is just that, a shield that comes down, where the new True Hero shield surrounds the face and keeps the droplets away. It's a much better protective area. It's reusable, very clear, very effective. It's made with medical grade plastic. It's just a really good product. So I've had it. I've used it myself. I've got a large head and it fits me well. So again, it's comfortable, it's usable, and it's going to be a great tool. But I don't want to single them out. There's so many other companies. I know Jamestown Container helps make the boxes that ship the True Hero face shield, but also they're stepping up and making meal boxes and things and the like. So many companies I've heard in Chautauqua County, Artone, many, Jamestown Container, Jamestown Plastic, and the like, really doing a great job. And I've said this before on another interview today, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I thank everyone who has stepped up to answer the call, whether it's a person who stayed home instead of going out and the person who felt sick and stayed home. Those are the people that I really thank from the bottom of my heart, not to mention our first responders, our healthcare workers that are on the front lines every day, our police officers, sheriff's deputies, and again, those manufacturers and businesses who have stepped up and answered the call. This is likened, or actually been referred to as the invisible war. And I would so proud that Chautauqua County has stepped up and answered the call, much like we did nearly 80 years ago when we answered the call for World War II. A lot of the same requests. Big companies are asked to switch from making cars to making ventilators. Other companies are asking to switch their operational systems to help combat this virus. And I am so proud that we in Chautauqua County have taken the lead in that effort.
All right, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendel, we thank you so much for being on the program today, sir. And to let everyone else know, tomorrow your office is scheduled a press conference for 3 o'clock. We'll be streaming that live here as well. If folks are concerned or have questions, should they reach out to the county? What's the best way to do that?
They can reach out to the county health department. They do have an answering system where they will direct the calls. If it's a call that needs to come to my office, the sheriff's office, IDA, or somebody along of the like, we will get that. They will get that information to us. So they're really doing a phenomenal job. And I can't say enough about our county services that are here and again have stepped up. It's really been an around-the-clock effort for the last 2 weeks. March 15th, we issued the emergency declaration here in Chautauqua County, and we've been going nonstop ever since. So I appreciate all the efforts of everybody, my command team, especially our COVID-19 response team, but all county employees and all essential workers throughout Chautauqua County. Thank you for answering the call and helping your neighbors in a time of need.
All right, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendel joining us on the program. Sir, thank you so much for being here. We know you're busy, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, let's get a check of our forecast now with Dakota.
Hey, Justin and PJ, and we showed this yesterday. Wanted to mention again because it's very interesting that March was above average. We had 23 above average days throughout the entire month. Only 8 days out of the month were below average. Add that together, that's a 31. We had 31 days in the month of March, and the March of this year ranks as the 7th warmest March on record dating back to 1900. That's when active weather records started being kept here in the city of Jamestown. 31 is where we started the day this morning here in town. 34 in Dunkirk, also the same in Erie, and 31 over in Olean. So it was a chilly start, and even though our average high climatologically, or should I say our average low climatologically, is actually around 28, 29. Here's some good social distancing. Golfing, but don't go golfing in groups, 6 feet apart. Don't share golf carts. You know, social distancing, you can go out and golf. Some courses are open during this time, but again, just maintain the social distance. You'll be all right. We'll be around 45, 46 through the afternoon. Lots of sunshine through the day. That sun is going to be shining bright through the day, but it is breezy with that northwest wind averaging about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So again, rinse and repeat weather for today. Take yesterday's weather, add about a couple more degrees on top of it, and that's going to be your weather through the day. More clouds Friday with a storm system that's way off the coast, and widely spaced showers possible on Saturday. Not going to be widespread or all-day rain, and it turns much milder next week. We're going to finally get back into a springtime pattern with temperatures back into the 50s and 60s. Look at this storm. This is not a hurricane, but it looks like a hurricane. It actually has some hurricane characteristics. It kind of has characteristics of a subtropical storm, but look at this thing. Look at the swirl right here in the center of this storm. This is where our clouds are coming from. This is way off the coast, so we're not being impacted by the precipitation from this, but we're being impacted by the clouds as we're getting wrapped up in that flow around that low as it moves off the coast. So you can see the clouds right here, and as this continues to move, we're going to be wrapped up in the cloudiness. So more clouds tomorrow. Here it is on Future Scan. Nothing through the day. This model is running, showing you nothing. Maybe a few clouds, maybe the eastern southern tier, but that'll be about it. Clouds will thicken up late tonight. Now, Future Scan tries to paint us as overcast to mostly cloudy tomorrow. I think there might be more peaks of sunshine than than I think is what is being depicted here. But expect more clouds than sun tomorrow. It's not going to be as sunny as it has been the past couple days, but the sun will peek in and out at times, and then the sun returns on Sunday or on Saturday before a chance for scattered showers return on Sunday. So partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Chilly early April night, even though climatologically we're near the average lows for this time of the year, 30 to 35, and the wind comes down out of the north as well. Long range stuff. It's looking like we will be mild through at least the first couple weeks of April. NOAA Climate Prediction Center believes above average temperatures are likely over the next 6 to 10 days and even the next 8 to 14 days looking out to mid-April. So the warmer pattern will likely continue here. West we go, young man, to the Lake Erie shoreline here. Temperatures mid to upper 40s here. The sun is back in full force again today, so soak up the sun, Sheryl Crow. Westward or eastward we go to the valleys and mountains areas here. Mid 40s here for most areas. Hills and valleys will likely stay in the lower 40s. Next 7 days of your life. Coming up right now, 44 degrees tomorrow, 55 on Saturday. We warm up with a more southerly wind flow as that comes in over the weekend. 56 Sunday, scattered showers. Back into the 60s we go for early next week. Scattered shower chance Tuesday and Wednesday, but it's only a small chance at this point. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and the mobile app. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at noon. Have a good day.